Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here, just to give you some of my thoughts and talk about my experience attending the Vampire Diaries Originals Convention in Chicago at the end of June. Yes, I was finally able to attend a Vampire Diaries Originals convention. It was supposed to be their last year. It was their farewell tour. I think they still have one coming up in Burbank, California. But it turns out they're doing a reunion convention next year in Chicago as well. Weirdly, and the same weekend and building as the Supernatural one. And I'd love to go to the Supernatural one too, because it's one of my other all-time favorite shows. I'd love to meet Jared and Jensen especially, but it costs an arm and a leg to get one of those silver or gold packages to meet them. So I don't know if I'll be able to swing that. But I always did want to make sure I went to a Vampire Diaries convention, particularly for Joseph Morgan or Klaus Michelson, because that character has just meant so much to me over the years. I think he's one of the most well-developed characters in any show I've ever seen. He's one of my all-time favorite characters in any show or movie I've ever known, really. And Joseph Morgan's performance, in my opinion, was award-worthy. So Joseph Morgan has been one of my top few people to meet in my life for the past few years now. So I wanted to make sure I made it before he wouldn't be there again. And it doesn't seem like he's going to be, after the Burbank one coming up, I think, because they already announced the main lineup for that reunion thing next year. So I caught it just in the nick of time. So I was mainly going for him, and like I said, these things are expensive. This one isn't quite as expensive as, again, the Supernatural one, but photo ops are pretty pricey. I mean, photo op for Joseph Morgan is like $150 plus online tax or whatever, and then the autographs are like $110 or whatever, or something like that. But again, if you really want to go to something, I think you can plan things out and save. I just couldn't believe how many gold pass people I've seen there. Like, how do they do that? Save for it all year, I guess. But there's just so much other stuff that happens in life. I love to afford it too, trust me. But yeah, my experience, it wasn't as big as someone else's would be, because again, I just kind of bought what I could and then went and did what I could. So my experience probably won't be as interesting to hear about as someone who had a gold pass, a VIP, or like a meet and greet or something that they bid on for like $300, $500. I couldn't do any of that. I basically got the minimum of what I knew I wanted to do, which is something you gotta do in general if you're not swimming in cash or whatever. So yeah, I got my Joseph Morgan photo op. I got an autograph from him, and I ended up meeting Riley Voelkel, Freya, as well. Which I got for a really good deal from someone, because there are a couple different fan groups for the conventions on Facebook that you can find, and it's actually a pretty decent community, the one I'm a part of. So someone was not able to fully use theirs. They had to leave early or something, I think. So they ended up selling me their autograph for like $15, which was really nice, and it really helped me out because I did want to meet some of the other people. So I chose that if I was going to get one other person, it was going to be Riley Voelkel. I unfortunately didn't get a picture with her though, but I was happy to at least meet her in person and at least talk to her for a couple minutes. Riley Voelkel is really, really nice. Seemed to have a lot of energy, a lot of just sort of interest in what fans had to say about the character and the show and everything. Also into both her and Summer Fontana's panel as well, Little Hope from season 4. Who was really nice as well. I did ask her a question at the panel, so that was good. Summer Fontana is very mature for her age, fairly well spoken as well. I think she's going to middle school now or something, she said, so that was good. Riley Voelkel's panel is really good too. She seemed pretty personable as well, like I said, at our table. And here's what I had her sign. I brought basically a Joseph Morgan, Klaus poster, because I wasn't really thinking I was going to be able to meet anyone else. But I had Riley Voelkel sign that anyway there in the bottom right-hand corner. Really nice signature there. Then Joseph Morgan's, of course, is on the left there. That's always one of my favorite images of Klaus, and I plan on putting it up right there in that space where it used to be. But I just haven't been able to buy a frame yet because I'm going to my usual horror convention tomorrow, actually. But I will have it up in the background probably sometime within the month. But yeah, meeting Joseph Morgan is very, very cool, and the way this convention was set up, I thought was fairly good. It seemed fairly well organized. It was a little different from some of the other ones I had been to. With how they would set up autographs and photo ops and such. Basically, you would wait in the main theater area, where most of the panels were held, and on the screen they display, if it was like a big guest like Summer Halder or Joseph Morgan or something, they would display like the numbers, autograph numbers 1 through 50, go now. But that would be after the gold pass people and the silver pass and everything like that. And then it would do, they'd put some other thing on the screen for when it's time for so-and-so's photos or what have you. A little hard to find the rooms at the hotel, but lucky they explained it a little bit, and basically you just gotta follow people and see where the rest of them are going, and eventually you'll find it with them. But yeah, Joseph Morgan was pretty nice. He was a nice guy. I've always heard he was a bit shy or a bit sort of, he was very humble about, those who praise him, it seems, and he came across that way to me. Very kind. I told him when I could. I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time with him. I had about a minute. And I wanted to talk to him, but I still got what I wanted. I basically told him how much the Klaus character meant to me, and before I walked away, I said he deserves an Oscar. And he's like, then at his panel, I basically tried to ask. He was doing the panel with Nathaniel Boslick, who played Cole, who again I didn't have much more money to meet anyone else. If I did, I would have probably met him and Matthew Davis and such, as well as Steve McQueen. Matthew Davis and Steve McQueen's panel, though, was hilarious. Matthew Davis just seemed really out of it, but it was really funny. They have a great banter with each other. And it'll probably mess with your image of Jeremy and Lark's relationship, though. It's completely different. They mess with each other a lot. But yeah, at the panel with Joseph Morgan Boslick, I asked Joseph Morgan, basically about like his process for going to those really emotional scenes, like the Camille episode, 319. Basically, well, it's my job, mate. But he said how just good it was on set that day, and everyone was very assuring of him, and so it made it easier for him to like access that emotion in his mind and everything. So pretty good. When I brought the poster to him, he liked the image of the poster. Oh, very manly. I have a sword, and I can't remember it word for word, but he is again very open, pretty receptive to what you would say, even though it was kind of a rush thing. But it is sort of what it is with that. I'm sure it was even crazier with Summer Halder a couple days before or whatever. But yeah, overall it was a good experience with him. It's not like one of those occasions where you meet someone and then you get a bad one-on-one with them, and it's like, oh, but now it's tainted, my image or my feelings towards the show forever. It didn't go like that, so that was good. I didn't really expect it would. With Story leaving when it goes well, meeting someone you really admire or enjoy. So yeah, my photo app. The photo, I didn't buy the digital download thing because you had to. I thought I'd save money. Oh, I'll buy it later. But it turns out the only way you can buy the photo op later is if you have PayPal. I don't really use PayPal. I've had some weird holding issues with that before, so I'm not always comfortable putting money on there. But I did have the physical thing, which I'll show right here. Print. And there you go. Sorry about that. There's a little dust on that. Because again, I was trying to wait until I bought the poster, put it next to it or something, but here it is. I think it turned out pretty good. I got a nice silver frame for it. It's wearing my Vampire Diaries Klaus shirt, You'll Never Destroy Me. Weird seeing with shorter hair and clean shaven, but I know he's doing some work on that new Brave New World show and everything like that. Thought it turned out really nice. Again, there's another just look at it if you want to look at it that way. So yeah, I was very, very happy by that. And then the rest of the con, was fine. There really isn't much more to it besides meeting guests. It is a pretty small event. I mean, there's a good amount of people there, but as far as like the vendors and such, there isn't really much. So if you're going, you really gotta be going to meet the actors. Otherwise, there's really not much there for you to do. I mean, there's little trivia contests and stuff, which is sort of entertaining. But the vendors, you could basically peruse for like 3 to 5 minutes and you'd see everything. And also, you know how most conventions, the celebrities or the guests usually have like 8x10s or their tables, and you can grab something from a sign if you don't bring your own thing. Well, that's not the case there. You got to buy 8x10s from the vendor room for like $5 to $10 and then bring it over there. So I had a bunch of 8x10s in the vendor room. Some like custom-made jewelry type stuff, I think. Some shirts, like Mystic Grill and things like that. They had an original as a hoodie, but that was like about $40, so I couldn't quite do that. I was expecting more, though. I mean, there really wasn't much. Again, you could kind of peruse this for a few minutes and you can see everything. I think they can go a little more elaborate with that. Especially them being at the Donald E. Stevens Center next year with Supernatural. That's a big space, because I was there for Heroes and Villains a year ago, and that's a big space. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Because you can go on a site like Redbubble, that's where I've got my Catherine shirt and some other things, where you can find more unique, sort of eye-popping, shirts than what they had at the convention. So that was unfortunate. It's just mostly kind of bland and basic designs. I mean, they're fine, but definitely don't go expecting much. But you're going for the actors most likely, so that's kind of the point of it. So again, just go what you're really think is making it worth it and stop there. But overall, it was still a good time. I got what I wanted out of it. I mean, I was fine just getting Joseph Morgan and basically making sure I had that experience meeting him before I sort of lost the opportunity. It was a really, really nice time on that end. Stayed at a nice I actually got to stay in the hotel as well, the Westin O'Hare, and it was pretty nice there. So let me know what you guys thought about it. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe. Have you been to some of these? What was it like with those meet and greets? Who's been your favorite person to meet, your least favorite person to meet? So catch you guys next time, and peace.